We are less than 1 week from opening day, and we got your key spring training takeaways. Ben Rice has been tearing the cover off the ball. So has Jasson Dominguez. Juan Soto sounds like he could be having second thoughts. I guess that's too bad. We'll get to all of that and more. We got Terrence on the show. State of the Yankees. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
I probably should have mentioned that Austin Wells is also tearing the cover off the ball, Terrence. Tonight against the Detroit Tigers in a spring training matchup. 3 for 4 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. Pretty good night for Mr. Wells. How you doing, TK?
I'm doing pretty well. As you can see, I'm in a little bit of a temporary situation, but we made it work. I'm staying with my parents in South Carolina for a little bit. But this used to be Robinson Cano, but now it's the Martian. So we got it going. We got it going for you guys.
That's the one great thing about not having names on our jerseys is it gives our jerseys that we buy decades of use. Like if you just don't change your jersey number, 3 or 4 different guys will wear it. Now, there was a time where that was a Gary Sanchez jersey. That was a Tino Martinez jersey. Who else wore 24? I can't really think of anybody else, but
didn't Ricky Henderson wear 24 for a little bit?
Yeah, Ricky Henderson, Kevin Moss wore. I mean, that's going back a ways, but
yeah.
So what we're going to do is a little bit different tonight. Usually we have the ticker on the side, but we're going to go a little bit different tonight and just cover a bunch of different items because there was more items than we have for the ticker. So we're going to start with some news.
Yeah, what do you say?
Terrence actually sent me this. Juan Soto in Sports Illustrated says the Yankees were number 1 from day one. I know the Yankees are going to be good for the next 5-6 years. We don't know after that. TK, I kind of did just a little bit of a revolt, like a throw up in my mouth kind of thing when I saw this. Yeah. Look, I feel a little bit like a jilted lover in that I just don't want to hear about the guy anymore. It's like he broke up with us and now he keeps going around to every reporter he can find telling people how nice our tits are. Like, come on.
Dude, that's you knocked it out of the park. I'm sorry. That was a really funny analogy there. That kind of caught me off guard. But dude, yeah, I mean he left and I feel like I was telling you this before, Derek, but the article, so if you guys didn't see, Sports Illustrated had the Mets as the cover of the magazine, a bunch of guys on there, and they had this article with Soto. And he was basically saying all this stuff in the interview, and I was kind of telling Derek, like, it feels like he's having second thoughts, like subconsciously, but he's just almost in denial about it. And again, I'm kind of with Derek, where I'm like, all right, yeah, move on. Was I bitter when he left originally? 100%. He's a great player. He's a generational talent. Do I think that the Yankee interlocking NY took a little bit of a hit? Yes, I think the brand took a little bit of a hit, but it's clearly, to me, it's the little brother behavior. This is Mets little brother behavior. Stop talking about us, man. It's, that meme I keep seeing with there's the chum bucket and the Krusty Krab, and then Plankton's got this like huge like magnifying glass. It's definitely that. Leave us alone. We're doing our own thing. We're in a different league.
He went to a new team and he's experiencing spring training, and it's just not quite as nice, I'll bet. I mean, I know Cohen has a lot of money, but the Yankees are a world-class, like, put-together organization for the facilities, the food, like, everything. I know his people couldn't get into the kitchen and get a special meal made or whatever, but I don't know. I'm tired of hearing about the guy. Just shut up and play baseball. Go hit your 50 home runs or draw your 150 walks. I don't care. So potential good news here. Carlos Rodon. I think a lot of Yankees fans would agree that he's got a lot of hard stuff that moves in. The fastball, the cutter, hard slider. He does have a nice roundhouse curveball that I don't think he throws enough. You said in a text a little while ago that he should throw it more, and I 100% agree with you there. Yeah. But apparently, it's from our guy, friend of the show, Ryan Garcia. He's working on a sinker, 92 miles an hour, 2,100 RPM, and then 6 inches of vertical break, and then 15.5 inches of horizontal break. So he says it's got too much spin to be a changeup, not enough ride to be a four-seamer. This is where the analytics guys like Ryan have an advantage over me, because I wouldn't even notice that. I'd be like, he's getting a little bit of extra sink on his fastball today. But yeah, I mean, looking at the vertical break, I mean, if this is opportunity to keep the baseball in the ballpark a little bit more, I'm all for it, TK.
Yeah, 100%. This kind of sounds like every spring training, every season, there's kind of the new sexy pitch. It was the sweeper a couple years ago. You hear about the kick change this
Kick
spring?
change.
The kick
Yeah.
change where they're kind of holding the ball with they got like their ring finger or their pinky kind of up as like a knuckleball, and then they're like pushing down on the ball as they release it, and it's basically too hard to be a changeup, and they're getting this like incredible break on it. I think Skeens is looking into learning that pitch. It's going to make him even more filthy. But to me, that kind of comes off as that. Matt Blake is like, hey, how about you try this kind of kick change sort of thing here? And it's kind of turning into this arm side break sinker. It looks nasty. I'm fine with it. This is the time of the year to try things out like that and kind of experiment. But I think with him, right, he was throwing the slider a lot last season, which was fine. It was a pretty good pitch for him. But sometimes he'd hang it. A guy would nuke it. Carlos Rodon, for me, if he really fine-tuned that pitch, that kick change pitch there, or the sinker, whatever he's going to call it, and he's got like the heater to go at the letters and keep it. I give me that 12-6, throw that way more, because the
I like that
curveball,
too.
like coming out of his arm slot, I think you would do a lot better with that, man, especially coming out of that. Like they're all going to come out around the same area, and it's really hard to pick that up. If you're going to throw, a 12-6 curveball with like, I don't know, 83, 84 miles an hour on it with a lot of break, and then you go 95 at the letters, that looks like 104 all of a sudden.
Let me interject. I think that the change of speed is just as important. And, I think that he should go to the breaking ball earlier in the count, too. Like, get
Yeah.
ahead with the curveball. Andy Pettitte used to backdoor the curveball. Remember that back in, like, the '09 World Series? He would start off guys with a front hip curveball to lefties. You get that first strike on something slow, and now the hitter has less opportunity to time you, right? So, you know, if you're pumping fastball after fastball after fastball, they're going to catch up to it eventually. Or if you throw a slider and you hang it, you speed up their bat. And that's why you give up so many
Yeah.
home runs. I think he should throw more off-speed stuff early in the count, pitch backwards a little bit because his fastball has so much ride. But good to see that
I
he's
like
making
that.
adjustments. Good to see he's making
I like
adjustments.
Yeah, his fastball, I mean, when he's on it, it's electric. And Peter right there, his release is perfect for 12-6. Right on the money, man. Right on the
Yep,
money. He really
100%.
releases it on top, and I think it'd be pretty nasty for him if he really concentrated more on that pitch. It's not entirely hard to throw. It doesn't ruin your arm. You just got to release it kind of like this and
Right.
then hook it a little close to your body. But I would really like him to throw that, I think, like 20% of the time this season.
Little tip for the people out there trying to learn a curveball. I'm going to demonstrate. So you really want to snap your fingers off. Like when you're, it's the wrong way. You don't snap your fingers off, but you want to snap your fingers when you're throwing a curveball. So just practice like this, snapping your
Yeah.
fingers, and try and get the ball to go straight up. Straight up. Then you got that nice tight vertical
hmm
break. Something I used to have a pretty nasty curveball. But all right, let's talk about the main event of the night, and that is Ben Rice. Um,
Slider
you
for me, Derek.
know, when I was building this show, it was before Austin Wells hit 2 more home runs, and Ben Rice was still in the team lead with 5 home runs this spring. But he does have 5 home runs in 53 spring at bats. He's got a 356 on base percentage. He's hitting 283, 960 OPS. Now I know spring training stats are basically irrelevant, and the reason that is because every year there's a few guys who will get some of those wind-guided pop flies in Florida that carry out of the ballpark. The fields are hard as a rock in spring training, and so a lot of choppers and stuff like that will get through, and that can elevate batting averages. It can hurt ERAs. Pitchers aren't necessarily working to scouting reports. They're working on stuff. But Ben Rice, we can look at the measurables, like how hard he's hitting the ball. He's not hitting high pop-ups. He's not sneaking choppers through a hard infield. He's hitting 105, 110 mile an hour shots at least once or twice a game. He's showing power to all fields. He's having patient at bats. He might be the guy that's really captured my attention the most this spring in terms of an optimistic feeling. I mean, we know Bellinger's going to be great if he's healthy. I've been super psyched at what he's done. And Austin Wells, I mean, he's on, he's getting to that next level. It looks like he looks like Judge in 2017. I'm not saying he's going to hit 50 home runs, but taking that next step. Ben Rice is that guy who seems to me like he could be coming out of the woodwork and getting ready to have a big year.
Yeah, definitely. First of all, John, welcome from the Philippines, man. That's far away, and thank you, Donna. But I will say with Rice, I think the 10 to 15 pounds of muscle that he put on in the offseason really seems to doing really well for him. He's hitting the ball harder. He's hitting the ball farther. I saw that Bellinger had some comments on him, said he looked really good. I see why the Yankees always loved his swing. He always had a pretty nice swing, pretty clean mechanics. And I like him. And this is going to be a funny thing, Derek, but he went to Dartmouth. So he didn't go to like I guess you can say like a traditional big time baseball school where he went to Texas or, Clemson where I went or Chapel Hill, Vanderbilt, whatever. And usually what I found is that when I was playing baseball and stuff, I had a guy, my coach and a scout tell me like a lot of times those major league clubs don't like to take chances on the minor league guys and on the Ivy League guys in the later rounds because they always feel like they can come right out of school and make pretty good money coming out of an Ivy League college, and they don't want to make what you would make in the minor leagues, right? So this is a
That's a really good
guy.
point.
If you're gonna read the tea leaves right there, this is a guy who chased after a dream and in a weird way I guess feels maybe like he shouldn't be here, and I think he's going to take every opportunity he gets, man, and runs with it. So worked hard in the offseason, put on some weight, swing looks great. He to me should be the DH on the team until Stanton gets back, and I would probably platoon him, Derek, between DH first and catcher. I would like rotate through those three spots there, and you could give Goldschmidt a DH, you can give Wells a DH, whatever you want to do. I think it makes the lineup really versatile, really flexible, something you don't have with Stanton. He's more athletic, younger, and he needs at bats. He just needs at bats because, like you said, spring training is kind of smoke and mirror sometimes. Remember, Higashioka had that huge spring, and everyone was excited
Yeah.
and all that. So that's great. It's all well and good, and you want to play well in spring and take that into the season, right? But he's got to show it, obviously. But I think with the Yankees, give him the lane, man. Give him the at bats. Get him in the lineup. Whether he's catching, whether he's playing first, DHing. I kind of crazy idea would have thrown him in the outfield this spring just to see what he
Mm.
looks like out
See
there.
what he can do
Honestly,
out there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We know he's got an arm, but I like that he's going to be mostly DHing, gives him a chance to just work on becoming that hitter that a lot of people think he can become. Another guy who's really been turning it on as of late is Jasson Dominguez, the Martian. He had a couple of hits yesterday. His OPS was up to 850. I watched the game. I don't think he had any hits today, so it's down to 804. He does have a double, a triple, and 3 home runs in 54 spring at bats. He is 15 for 54. Last year in the minors, 314 average, 11 home runs, 880 OPS, minor league career average or career OPS of 816. And this will be his age 22 season. And TK, it's time to find out if the hype is real because he looks good right now. He is hitting the ball hard. And one thing about spring training is that I watch a lot of games that aren't on the Yes Network because they just happen to be on like one of the other sports networks. Like I have the DirecTV package that has, the Florida network, the whoever, Atlanta, all these different networks. And so you catch these broadcasts and they'll hear Dominguez rip a line drive, and they'll be like, wow, did you hear the sound off of that guy's bat? Like they don't really know who he is. They're like, man, I'd watch out for him. He's hitting the ball hard. And that happened yesterday. I was actually I was working on something and I wasn't looking directly at the game. I had it on my iPad and I heard crack and I was like, who hit that? And I saw the ball like going into center field. And then they flashed and it was Dominguez. And then they started talking about him. And so I tweeted about it. He hit a piss missile. But he has been stinging the baseball. And another guy, not hitting choppers that are aided by a hard, dry ground. He's hitting 110, 112 mile an hour line drives, TK.
Oh yeah, I think if I were a scout and I was scouting him, the one thing I'd have in my notes would just be hits the shit out of the ball because plain
Yeah.
and simple, that's what he does, man. He just hits tanks. When he first came up, remember he was electric when they first brought him up in the Houston series. It wasn't his first at bat. He went deep to the Crawford boxes, which Judge did that too. Just saying. So did Tyler Austin. That's different, but
But
and
not
then
to the
he hit.
Crawford boxes. Judge hit his
Yeah,
458 feet off the
yeah,
restaurant. That's a very
yeah.
different home run
Very
shape, my
different, very
friend.
different. But the Martian, when he was hitting a lefty, he hit a bomb to right field in Houston. I remember I was like, the swing was so like violent, like he was like
Yeah.
swinging out of his shoes, but he nuked it. So it just like looked really cool. But He's literally nicknamed the Martian, so he's got a lot of
Yeah.
hype. He's got to see if he lives up to it. The one concern, the one question mark, and you know this, Derek, is the defense. What's the defense going to look like? But offensively, I really have no concerns. I think he's going to be a really good player. I have him winning Rookie of the Year. Bias aside, maybe there's a guy in Baltimore or like a surprise that could maybe take that, or a Roman Anthony if he makes the team with the Red Sox could be a name in the Rookie of the Year conversation. So I think he's winning Rookie of the Year, and I think when he's maybe this season, but I think he's like a 30-30 guy year in and year out pretty easily.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just glad that the hype is finally going to be judged, right?
Yeah,
We've been following this guy since the channel started. He's had all these injuries. We haven't really gotten the look. This year he's ready on opening day. It looks like he's healthy on opening day. He's feeling good. He's got the job. Now
he's
it's
got the
just
beard.
let's do it. He's got the beard. He's comfortable. I would love to
Yeah.
be showing you highlights right now of all of his accolades, but MLB likes to claim it if we do. But I do have that highlight, and that's the home run right there on your screen. But that's
Yep.
the still picture of it. But MLB always giving us a hard time, just breaking the balls.
I'm breaking your balls a little bit. That's
Say
all.
the one thing about the Martian too is like he looks like a man child. He's 22 and he looks like he's about 27 or something, like just the way that he's built.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited for him. I do think he's going to be end up being a really good player.
All right, it's time to get your take, TK. This is your moment of glory here. You have a chance to outdo me and Kratz and Frankie. So we've got, I believe it's what, 9 or 8, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 over unders
Yeah.
that we
Okay.
went over. So just for the audience who's listening, the over unders are on the screen, and I'll just run through them real quick. So I had Kratz on the other night, and Frankie
Yeah.
behind the scenes is doing it with us this year. We'll have him on, and we'll do kind of a reveal show at the end of the year. And we're going to find out who did the best with their over-unders. So we got Wells, 19.5 home runs. Kratz took over. I took under just to be contrarian. I think I picked 19, but I really think he'll probably hit over than that. I'm regretting that choice. Frankie took under. Max Fried, 3.25 ERA. Kratz took over. I took over. Frankie took under. So Frankie thinking Fried's going to get even better than last year. Dominguez, 23.5 home runs. Kratz took under. I took over. Frankie took under. Stanton, 59.5 games. That's sad. Kratz took over. And Kratz knows him. Kratz has his phone number, so he knows. I took under. Frankie took under. Goldie, 74.5 RBIs. Kratz took over. I took over. Frankie took over. And then all three of us took under on Volpe 4.0 F4. That's Fangraphs version of WAR. Judge, 49.5 home runs. We all took over. And then Yankees, 90.5 wins. We all took under. So what you got, my man? Let's start with Austin Wells. 19.5 home runs, over under.
I'm definitely taking the over on that, for sure. I'm gonna try to ignore what you guys did and go with myself, what I'm just feeling, but I'm definitely gonna go. Do you want me to just kind of run through them, Derek, or do you want to kind of go?
High drive.
Let's
Deep
do it.
left field.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go over under. You just take
All right.
you steer the bus for a bit.
All right, so for Wells, I'm definitely taking the over on the 19.5 there. I think he probably hits 25, to be honest. It's just with the feel. Max Fried, 3.25 ERA. If he did that, I'd be very happy, and I think that's a really good season. But I'm actually going to take the under on that just because I think that he will live up to the pressure of losing Garrett Cole and become the ace of this team. And I think that they're going to kind of be somewhat careful with him and not over pitch him over like with innings in terms of the start of the season, and then probably go deeper as the season goes on. Dominguez, 23.5 home runs. I am taking the over on that. I think he can hit 30, Derek. I think it's in the cards. That would be a great season, but I think it's possible for him to go 30. Stanton, 59.5 games. Ooh, I am tempted to go under, but you're saying Kratz knows him. He's got the phone number. He maybe feels something there. I'll go over, but not by much. Goldie, 74.5 RBIs. I'm probably going to take the over on that just because he's going to hit in the middle of the lineup. I think that he's going to go gap to gap. He's a good veteran hitter. I think he's got a little bit left in the tank. I think he can definitely do it. Volpe, 4.0 WAR. You guys all took the under. I am also tempted to go under, but I'm going to go over on this one. I'm going to say that Volpe has a pretty solid season and takes a step forward. But if he has an over, it's going to be like a 4.4. I don't think he's beating it by much. Judge 49.5 home runs. I've already said this, but I think he's going to challenge his own record. I know that he lost Soto, I guess, in the lineup, and maybe that'll affect him, but he was protecting Soto, not the other way around. So I'll go the over on the 49.5 home runs. And with the Yankees, 90.5 wins, that's going to be a tough one, but I think it's right. It's going to be probably 90, so I'm forced to take the under on the 90.5 wins. I see the Yankees this season, unfortunately, with losing Cole. I see them as a wild card team. And I hate to say this, it makes me want to throw up in my mouth. I think the Red Sox take a huge step forward this season and win the AL East. And there you go.
All right. Well, there you have it, TK. Appreciate it. Frankie, log these for posterity. We're going to take a quick break. A word from our sponsor tonight, True Classic. Vis-a-vis me playing golf in my backyard. Then we're going to talk about the Yankees starting rotation and give our spring standouts as we wrap up this episode of State of the Yankees. Back in about 90 seconds.
How's it going, guys? I'm getting ready to hit my 7-iron, but I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about True Classic. A few of you have mentioned that it's looked like I've lost some weight this winter, and that is absolutely 100% correct. I lost about 32 pounds, and that's great. I feel great, all that stuff. But the one downside is that a lot of my clothes don't fit anymore, so it's a good thing that True Classic came along. They make extremely comfortable clothing that's great for walking. It's great for practicing your 7-iron like I'm getting ready to do. It's soft. You can wear it for all seasons. They have long sleeves, they have short sleeves, they have pants, they have shirts. Everything you would want for a comfortable fit.
Whether you're bundling up for the cold or gearing up for spring like I am, upgrade your style with clothes that actually fit right, even if you lost a bunch of weight. Just head over to trueclassic.com/stripe to save. That's trueclassic.com/stripe. Shop now and elevate your wardrobe today.
I'll warn you, my golf swing isn't too good. Nice contact, though. All in my True Classic.
All right.
Dude, swing was pretty good. And Derek, where do I get that awesome beanie, dude? That thing was sick. The hat you're wearing in the
so that
video.
was the old NYY Recaps hat, which right now the store, I've pulled it down for maintenance, and I've been meaning to get to it, but I've been just so busy that I haven't gotten to it. I'm hoping to have the store back up at some point by mid-season. If not, I'll do it after the season. It kills me on taxes anyway. So, but we will have stuff for sale again. But I had too much old stuff. Like I had all this Nestor Cortez shit. I had a whole bunch of shit.
Soto,
I had Joey Gallo. I had a whole Juan Soto section, and I was like, it's more work to just like fix all this than it is to just take it down and rebuild it. So I took it down, and we're rebuilding.
And you got to change. You got to change the Martian's number. I think you had 89 up there, right?
Yep. All the reasons you're pointing out now, precisely why I took it down, because of the constant comments like, hey. All right, so looks like we're going to have a rotation that consists of Carlos Rodon in the number 1 spot opening day, followed by Max Fried, Marcus Stroman all the way up to number 3, possibly. Carlos Carrasco and Will Warren probably going to be in the rotation to begin the season, and then Clark Schmidt probably going to be on the IL to begin the year because he's not going to be built up. At some point, he'll step in and probably force either Will Warren to the minor leagues or Carlos Carrasco to a DFA land. But how you feeling about this rotation to begin the season, man? All I can say is it looks like we're going to have to hit.
It looks like we're going to have to hit. It's obviously not ideal. It's not what you want. It's not what we thought it was going to be earlier in the offseason, obviously. Carlos Carrasco is definitely making the team. Jack Curry was talking about this, but Will Warren has an option. So you're definitely going to see him kind of floating between the show and and AAA, kind of back and forth. And Carrasco, you would lose him for nothing. So instead of having one pitcher, you could have 2. So I think they like what they've seen from Carrasco, and he'll definitely be in the rotation. And then if Schmidt comes back when and if, I think Warren will probably get bounced, and they'll put Schmidt in that spot. I mean, it's not ideal, but I think it's doable. I'm always pretty confident with Matt Blake. I think he's a great pitching coach. I think he's one of the best in the game. And I think our bullpen is absolutely lights out. And if you look at the Dodgers last season, their entire starting rotation was basically hurt, and they won the World Series. As long as you can get solid starts that can give you, 4 or 5 innings in today's game, and you don't even have to go that deep in the games, I think that our bullpen is really that good. And I think that they can carry the load a little bit. And basically just be okay until Luis Seal gets back in around the All-Star break, hopefully. I think, like I said, Fernando Cruz, I think he's going to be a real weapon, man, a real
Yeah,
weapon.
he looks good. I like his
Yeah,
splitter. I saw Devin Williams pitch a couple of times this winter.
filthy.
I really hadn't watched him much with the Brewers. I just don't watch a lot of Brewers stuff, but he is
Yeah.
absolutely nasty. All right, let's go to our spring standouts and finish things off here. Final thoughts. So I'll just go first. TK, knock out my two. We didn't want to do like the standouts of like the guys who had obvious, Wells or Bellinger, whatever, kind of under the radar guys that probably won't be on the team, but to keep an eye on. I really liked what I saw from Yorbit Vivas. I know he already got optioned down to AAA, got sent to minor league camp. I like what I saw from him. Good, patient at bats, really, really good swing, very level swing. Probably won't lead to a lot of home runs, which I'm sure the Yankees, don't love. They love guys to hit the ball out of the ballpark. But to me, he looks like a
Launch it.
contact guy. Yeah, and Ben Hess, we saw him in the spring breakout game. I was really, really impressed by his arm. He's got a really good arm, and weird to see a rookie making his pro debut with the Yankees with a goatee.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's honestly it's weird for a lot of guys. Devin Williams, Martian, they got the rocking the beards. For me, I'm gonna pick George Lombard Jr. 19 years old, look like a seasoned pro already. I think that this spring training, if anything, it's kind of given the Yankees the inclination that he might be the starting everyday third baseman for 2026 coming out of camp. I think that is on the table. And if he rakes, Derek, if he rakes this year, I think September is on the table to see him. And when the rosters expand, why not? Just to see what he looks like. I don't. Juan Soto was 19. Bryce Harper was 19. Some of these phenom guys, man, they make the league when they're 19, 20 years old. I think Guerrero Jr. was as well. So I think that that's definitely on the table. He's a guy who's been around the game a long time, so he kind of already knows how to conduct himself. And the other guy that I had, Derek, was Escara, JC Escara, 29
Looks
years
good.
old, bounced around a lot of minor league systems, basically, and we picked him up. So he'd be a rookie as a 29-year-old, but I really like what I saw from him. I think that he's kind of got a stranglehold on that backup catcher position. I do think he's making the team. I think he deserves to make the team, and I've been really impressed with the way he's swinging on the bat, man.
Yeah, some guys are just late bloomers. It just clicks for them
Yeah.
late. Like Jose Bautista is one of those guys who kind of never really put it together until one year it just clicked. And Escara was a guy who, he broke out and won the batting title in winter ball. He had a really good back end of the year at AAA. Maybe he just figured it out. He's hitting the crap out of the ball. So, hey, we got a week till spring training or till regular season is kicking off next Thursday. Obviously, we'll be live with post-game shows after every single game, and Terrence will be joining for more of these State of the Yankees type of shows throughout the year. I convinced him to, put off his Paris trip. No, I'm just kidding. You're still going to Paris, right?
Yeah, go to Paris in like a week. But hey, doing a show from Paris may be on the table. I think
That could be
cool.
fun. First
Yeah.
ever show from the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. We'll be back with a post-game on Sunday, and then after that, next stop, regular season. We'll see you next time.
Let's do it. See ya.
Hey, while I've got you here, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Pinstripe Territory is the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We are home to the #1 most watched MLB postgame show on YouTube since 2021. We're here after every Yankees game and for reactions to all the best news and rumors during the offseason. Be a part of the show by calling into the voicemail 718-899-1068. Try to keep it clean for me. And if you ever miss us on YouTube, be sure and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars. It'll help other people find the show. Thanks for watching. See ya.